Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. We're going to talk about Ghostbusters Afterlife, and we're going to talk about ghost labor. Alright, so spoilers for Ghostbuster Afterlife in this content. So, in the end, near the end of the movie, in Ghostbusters Afterlife, Egon Spengler shows up. Wait a second. The actor who plays Egon Spengler is Harold Ramis. Hal Ramis is dead. Okay? So how did Harold Ramis star in a movie when he was dead? Right? Well, it's called ghost labor. And we live in an incredibly, incredibly complex time. That's one of the reasons why why I have this really unusual idea about Gary Gygax's legacy. Is essentially what Gary Gygax did by introducing unbound immersion and unbound identity. It's going to take 100 years to really understand the magnitude of what he really created, right? And we're in the middle of that now, right? And I think a lot of people stop thinking, right? Because they think we live in a simple world, right? We don't. The world we live in is just 100 times more complex than what it was even 10 or 20 years ago, right? We have the rise of inhuman speech, right? Like we have inhuman speakers, right? There are increasingly, you will get communication from sources that are not human, right? It's quite real, and it's growing like crazy, right? We just had a movie that had a star. Harold Ramis is in the movie. Harold Ramis is dead, right? And he didn't cut these scenes before he died. They put Harold Ramis in this movie. He's there, right? Like it's it's Egon Spengler, but it is the body, it is the presence, the stance, the cadences of Harold Ramis, right? That's incredible, right? So he's dead. He's a ghost, right? Like he is no longer on this human earth. He's no longer on this physical earth, right? But he's starring in a film, right? So this is ghost labor, right? Now, where does this connect for Dungeons & Dragons? Well, Gary Gygax, right? He is still laboring. So for one, his legacy is there, okay? And then the other thing that we see now is people are going to put him to work, right? And that's the other issue is we're in a new time, right? Who has the right to put a dead person to work? That's a good question, right? And guess what? We're responsible to answer it, because it's the world we live in today, right? I have no idea how Harold Ramis got up in Ghostbusters Afterlife, but some human said, I'm going to put this ghost to work, right? And is having that ghost labor. This is it's incredible. So in case you're, wondering, there is a huge question today on how we determine the interpretation of the legacy of a dead person. And we're in the middle of it in the Dungeons & Dragons community, right? Because there are people saying, Gary Gygax, his true legacy is this. Oh, Gary Gygax's true legacy is that, right? So I'm curious, what do you think should be the criteria for what determines who gets to put a ghost to work? I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I'm noodling this one, and it's tough. Love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.